Real Frank.
Hello, welcome to Real Frank Movie Reviews. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the movie Uncharted. Nathan Drake and his wisecracking partner Victor Sully Sullivan embark on a dangerous quest to find the greatest treasure never found, while also tracking clues that may lead Nate to his long-lost brother. This movie is based on the popular Sony Video Game. So let's take a look and see how this bitch goes. My special guest reviewer is LINO. Welcome to the show, LINO.
Thank you so much. I feel welcome.
Yeah, nice. Did you ever play the game Uncharted? Were you a fan of the Uncharted franchise?
So no, I played a couple Rockstar games back in the day, but I never played this one. So had to do a little bit of research to get a background on it before I saw the movie, because I feel like I would have been left out if I didn't.
Yeah, I actually was a big fan of this franchise. I used to play it all the time. I never made it to the fourth one. I got lazy and cheap, but the first three I loved. I was addicted to it.
Were they four altogether, or was it more than that?
The basic ones were four, and then they came out, with a PSP version or PS Vita, and then they had a little, you could buy those expansion packs, those type of crap that they sucker you in for that shit, to get your money.
Yeah, FIFA already sucks me dry, so I can't. I don't think I would be able to afford any other games. So I'm poor now. Thanks, EA Sports.
Yeah, that's what they do to us. They suck us in. They suck us into that little virtual world because all our lives suck, and then we get lost in there, and then we just want to keep adding on to it, and before you know it, we're fucked. Yeah,
exactly. The pandemic was just me throwing my controller over FIFA Ultimate Team. That's all it consisted of.
Hey, we all got our outlets. So you not being familiar with the franchise of the video game part of this, you went and saw it. What did you think of the story? Like, not having so much of a background playing the games.
The first half of the movie, the story with his brother and his sort of Tom Holland's character is kind of, persona, I was pretty interested in. I'm like, hey, this looks pretty cool. It's kind of interested in seeing what he would do through the movie. And I was pretty actually fond of his duo with Mark Wahlberg. I was kind of digging that. But I think it was a bit. It was okay. It was a bit muddled toward the end of the movie, I think. But I think as far as treasure hunting goes, that was part of the story. So it is what it is. But I would say it was okay. So
okay.
Wasn't totally thrilled about it.
What did you think? When I played the video game, the Scully character was an older gentleman. He had a mustache. He's kind of shady guy. What did you think of Mark Wahlberg's performance? Again, you're not so familiar with the video game, but just in general, of how do you think he fit in with that role?
At certain parts, you're like, wow, you are a very shady and shitty guy.
Yeah.
It's just, he was just so obsessed with gold. But like, when I think of Mark Wahlberg, it's just like some drunk Boston dude. So it's like, wow, he's just like a hammered Boston dude that's just in love with gold, and he's just going to just screw everybody out of everything. So, I thought he played it okay, but, he probably fit that persona more than Tom Holland did.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm a big, I think Tom Holland's a fantastic actor. I mean, he's done all kinds of different types of movies, and he just seems to do so well. He's a movie superstar right now, He's super hot. But,
yeah,
I don't know. I like Mark Wahlberg usually, but I don't know if I liked him for this role. I was hoping for a little older gentleman, having played the video game, and I don't know. I don't know who you would have casted for that. I read in some stuff that prior iterations of this movie, before they finally got it going, they had like Al Pacino and was signed on, or like Joe Pesci or something.
Ooh. That would have been. I don't know if I would be able to handle Al Pacino just screaming at everybody and running around trying to steal gold. I don't know. I don't know if I would have liked that.
Hooah! Hooah!
He's got to give him any given Sunday speech just to motivate him to go to Barcelona and and steal some gold. That would have been good.
Hooah! I need the goal. Hooah! You hear me? Hooah! That's my sad Al Pacino.
I can't think of any other older dude that probably would have been good for that. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if Mel Gibson would have been good.
I don't know. Hey, it's true. I don't know. But at the end, when they showed the post or the credit stuff, and they actually show him talking to a guy, and then you see him come out, and he's actually got the mustache and the hair slicked back. He looked more like the character in the video game. So apparently, this movie was a prequel to the whole video game, trilogy or quadrilogy, whatever you call four things.
Yeah. At the end, the last thing I saw was possibly the jail. I think it was the brother in the jail.
Yeah.
Sam. I don't know if we got spoilers, right? We're good with that.
Yeah. I mean, we're really spoiling anything with this thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's probably going to be another movie, but anyway, that was the last thing I saw. So you're talking about Mark Wahlberg's guy with the hair? Yeah, when he came in, and then Drake was sitting at the table, and then he came in and he's got the stupid cat in the backpack. Oh my God! Did I miss that part? Was that like after the jail scene or before? It could have been after the jail scene. Yeah. Sheesh, I must have walked out too early or something, man. Whoops. Oh, well, I mean, you didn't miss too much. It was just that scene. But then, in that scene, you just happened to look more like the video game character, Scully. Yeah. So, my problem with this story was a couple of scenes. There was one scene when they find that they go through the whole puzzle, Indiana Jones adventure part, and they find those big containers, and they're full of, salt or whatever? Yeah, I thought we were dead people, basically. Yeah. So then Chloe punches him in the head, knocks him out, right? He's knocked out. He's all fucked up. Yeah. And then when he wakes up, Scully's there, right? And he starts talking to Scully right away like he has no head trauma or nothing. He's like, hey, why didn't you tell me my brother died? You knew my brother, or what happened to my brother? Tell me what happened to my brother. I mean, he immediately starts shooting lines like, dude, you were knocked out for hours. You come to, and all of a sudden you're just yip yapping like nothing. Remembers everything. Remembers everything that happened. It's just like, wow, that was mean. Oh, okay, moving on. Right, and it's just like so sharp, and I'm like, dude, you just got whacked. Yeah, no, that was really odd. I was just wondering, Sully, how'd you get down there? One, they never showed it. He must have it's like, did he go back up to the church? Was the nun walking around noticing that there's a giant hole in the back of the crypt area? Like, why? Come on, man. What the hell? Exactly. The whole entire movie to me felt rushed. Like they were just pushing. Like you said, they didn't show how he came down. For he was up at the top in the sea level. Now all of a sudden he's down in the sewer or whatever where they found this stuff. They didn't show any of that. At the end when they had those old ships and Drake is climbing all the way up the rope, which was ridiculous. And all of a sudden he's in the helicopter. Like he's just there. He's like, oh, I'm in the helicopter now. They cut out a bunch of stuff. This is easy. Yeah. I can operate this helicopter. Well, that was weird. I think they probably didn't want to make the movie 3 hours. If it was as long as Goodfellas, no one would have saw it. No. But I think there wasn't enough character development either. Like Wahlberg was just kind of a mishmash, and you didn't really think he was going to abandon Tom Holland at the end, when they're picking up the damn ships and dragging them by helicopter across the sea. It's like, all right, okay. That I'm glad you brought that scene up because that was just ridiculous. These are ancient ships, hundreds of years old, right? And they're just wrapping them up. The fucking chain would just tear him apart trying to lift him up, right? It's just ridiculous. Yeah, this plan was gonna work, just bulletproof. So this is what we'll do. We'll hook them up to a helicopter. Oh my God. And just uproot them from the earth, and no one will care, no one will see us, and everything will be just fine. And they won't damage the ships at all, these historical ships. I mean, they won't just rip right through them. And then how'd they get the stuff underneath the ships, right? Because they were on land. They were in this, rushed up against this little shore area, and all of a sudden they were able to get this shit underneath it and then helicopter it up. Yeah, no, any engineer watching that would just be like, this is a disaster. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm walking out of here. Like, me, I let certain things go, but even I was just like, dude, that's not going to work. Come on.
Yeah.
So.
And then the villain chick, I forget her character's name, but before they go into those ships, she's like, don't damage the ship. Don't shoot up the ship. Oh, but
Yeah.
we'll pull them out with these fucking chains.
You.
Yeah, I'll use these fucking chains. I gotta, and they end up shooting the ship.
They screwed that up very quickly.
Yeah, they end up shooting the ship anyway. So what's the difference? It made no sense.
Yeah.
The other thing that really annoyed the shit out of me was the whole airplane sequence. I get the movie starts with him hanging from the airplane, right, on the luggage or the materials hanging out. All right, fine. He fights his way up, and the car drives off, takes him down, and he's so calm, cool, collected. Hey, am I hanging on top of this car? No parachute, falling down the earth. And the girl who's in the car is even less, panicky. And then all of a sudden, they're just like, she opens the door nonchalantly. Like, how are you going to be able to open the door with all that air pressure? Let's get past that, all right? We get past that. We're like, okay, it's, a popcorn movie. And she's over there. She's nonchalant, just talking to him. And then they...
What are you doing here?
Yeah.
Their hair is barely moving, even though they're flying 400 miles an hour down toward Earth. Like, what are you doing? No, what are you doing here? Hey, you punched me. Like, all right, come on. What the hell? Seriously.
Exactly. And then they jump onto that crate, right? The crate's got the parachute on it, and then they just pull it, and they're just chilling. Nonchalantly, we're on a crate. We're going to land in some water, and they're very calm, no panic. They're talking to one another like it's just an everyday conversation. Was ridiculous.
Yeah, and Tom Holland gets punched in the head. Granted that would hurt. He's knocked out for like 4 hours, but then he falls from the sky into the water, and they just like swim to shore. Like, all right, okay, very good. No, that wasn't a big impact. No, we're good.
Now, do you remember the scene when they came out of the water and there's a guy on the beach and he's talking to him?
Yes, I did do enough research before the movie to know that guy looked familiar, and he was the guy that played the main character, like that voiced over the main character in the video games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that, and I heard everybody like laugh in the theater that played. I'm like, you played the video game.
Yeah.
You played the video. Carly's next to me. She's like, I don't know what just happened.
Yeah, no, I was playing the video game. I recognized his voice like right away. I never knew what he looked like, but I heard the voice. I was like, they had that's the little Easter egg surprise in the movie for the fans.
Yeah, he's just like, I've done that before or something. I'm like, that's the guy. Heck yeah. All right, I get it now.
Now, in the video game, Drake, the character, you always had to do all these crazy climbing things to unlock these puzzles, whatever. Climbing. And they didn't really focus on that. That was the specialty of him. He was a great climber in the game. He's climbing these walls and stuff. The only thing he really climbed was the stupid helicopter thing all the way to the top from the boat, but they don't show it. They show like a clip, and then he's in the helicopter. So I was a little annoyed about keeping the heart of the game where it was climbing. Another thing, in the game, he always wore the holster. The holster. In the movie, you've seen where he grabs it from somebody and puts it on for a second when he's on the ship, and then he starts shooting.
Yeah.
And that's it. So I was like, what the fuck? Like, his character in the game, he's wearing this holster the entire time. And I get this as a prequel, but it'd be cool that he was, I get the first half, introduce him, blah, 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 but get him into his game attire.
Exactly. Yeah, I think they probably just tried to make him like a James Bond knockoff or something, just doing wild shit all the time, and maybe the holster, they probably could have put one on him, but maybe they're trying to appeal to people that didn't play the video game, but that's the only thing I can think of, really.
Right, but I mean, you can do the movie the right way, and people maybe would go play the video game afterwards or something. I don't know. I just a little disappointed with that kind of stuff. Now, you not knowing much about the video game, what part of the movie did you hate the most? What was the movie that just infuriated you, or you rolled your eyes and you went, "Oh fuck, not again"?
It was the melee on the ships. It was killing me. It was just like, come on, man. These are ancient ships that you're trying to preserve. And at the end, they're basically all gone. They're all destroyed, and they walked off with a few pieces of gold. And it's like, really, that was it, man. Okay, that's pretty shitty. So,
Right.
Yeah, that
It's
was
like
probably my worst.
It's like the Goonies. They were trying. It's almost like, all right, they did this in the Goonies. We don't want to be like the Goonies, so we'll change it up a little bit. All right, they did this in Indiana Jones. We want to change it up just a little bit. We don't want to be just like Indiana Jones. So they were trying to tweak stuff, but stealing ideas at the same time.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. I wasn't thrilled with that one. I think they were probably running out of time and running out of money. They're like, yeah, this sounds pretty good. This storyline. Let's just annihilate these ancient ships, and then we'll lead into there might be a sequel kind of scene, and then we're good. So probably.
Another thing that pissed me off was when they killed Antonio Banderas' character. They slit his throat, right? There's no blood. There's hardly any blood. He just got a scratch across his neck.
It just hardened. He's got a red slit.
He's got a red slit. No blood, nothing. Then they show the after effects still laying there. No puddle of blood. I mean, he's fucking slit his neck. There's nothing there.
Yeah, I'm pretty squeamish at bloody scenes, but even I was sitting there like, that's it? Come on.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Probably to keep that PG-13 rating there.
Probably that probably explains it. Although I did kind of like Antonio Banderas as a villain in the movie. I think that worked. That was pretty good.
Yeah, he was pretty good. I mean, he didn't have a big role, but the part he did, he could be that jerk. He could be that asshole.
Yeah, like he could totally be a villain in a Bond movie. I think, like I could totally see that.
Yeah, maybe that's in his future. I agree.
Yeah, he doesn't have much of a future left. He's getting kind of old.
He is. I was noticing his neck. You know how you get older, you get that little chicken turkey neck.
You get a little turkey neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so paranoid about that. Oh, I don't want to get that.
Yeah, I know. We just have to start growing our beards very long.
Growing longer, just flexing my neck all the time.
Yeah, I'm young, guys. I'm still young.
All right. So, other than that part just destroyed me because I just thought that was ridiculous. Why even put it in there? Have him get shot or something, but slit his neck. It was ridiculous. But on the other side of it, what part did you like the most?
I think the scene when they stole the cross from the auction was awesome. I think the way they did it was like kind of unbelievable because Mark Wahlberg, I don't even know if the bidding was over. Mark Wahlberg just walked out of the auction with the cross. It's like, how do you let him do that? Like, that wouldn't happen.
No, just because he puts on the jacket, he has the right jacket of the staff, they let him walk out.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I left my pass in my car, but here, I'll take that very valuable $3.5 million cross. Yeah, sure, thanks.
Yeah, right.
But I think the lead up and like the scene was like pretty cool, and like how it was shot, and I think that was pretty cool.
All right, so let's go ahead and rate this. Overall, what would you give the story? 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst.
I would have to go with a 4.
A 4?
I honestly, the ending just kind of killed me, and like the build up after, going like starting from Barcelona till the end, I was just like, all right, not my favorite. So.
All right. I give the story a 2.9. Being a video game fan, I mean, there's not too many of these action adventure type of video games I'm a fan of, but this one I got sucked into. I loved it, and seeing this movie, I thought it was a shit show. I give it a 2.9. I was annoyed that they didn't even, in the video game, they had this awesome music. They didn't play the music from the video game, this soundtrack, until the very, to the credits, the very end of the credits, they started playing the soundtrack of the video game. And it's like, that's what made the video game, was the music and what he wore and shit, and they didn't have any of that. This was just, I know prequel, they try to set this shit up for this whole universe so they can milk this thing for trillions of dollars, but yeah. Acting, what did you think of the acting of Tom Holland, Wahlberg, and everybody else?
Tom Holland, I thought did an okay job. I think he was probably, I think him and Banderas were probably the best actors in the movie. Marky Mark, don't think that was a movie for him.
No.
I don't think so. Didn't really believe his character. So, that would probably be more of a negative review on that. Holland had kind of like an accent, a weird New York accent in the beginning that I thought like came and went, and I'm like, what? Listen, I love you, man, but what's going on here? You know, come on.
Pick an accent, asshole.
Yeah, I'm like, I know you're a Brit and it's tough, but you know, just tighten up, man. Like,
Right.
Come on.
That's a good point. I kind of agree with you. I think Tom Holland was solid. I mean, it wasn't his best. It wasn't Spider-Man shit, you know. Antonio Banderas was great, but Mark Wahlberg, I just couldn't believe him as that character. You know, wise guy, ass guy. I give the acting a 3.6. I mean, I just thought it was just, you know, I feel like they just checked it in for a paycheck in some of these scenes. Like they were really trying too hard.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good score. I'd say like about 3.5. I think something like that, because you know, I don't know. I mean, I do like Tom Holland.
Yeah.
You know, I think he did do a decent job, but I think it's tough for people to act in that kind of movie because they try to do so many different things. Like they did, I did kind of like the chemistry with Wahlberg, but you know, then sometimes they're joking around. The jokes land sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're just kind of cheesy. You know, and it's just like, all right, you know, okay, let's move on now.
Exactly, like they're shoehorning these jokes in just to keep the comic relief going.
Yeah, and when Wahlberg was at the Pizza Hut in Barcelona, that was pretty funny. So
Yeah,
I will give him that.
Yeah. All right, the cinematography, the way they shot it, the camera angles, the views, those type of things. Do you have an opinion on that or a score for that one?
Well, I mean, usually I'm kind of like a realist with movies, so when I see a car flying out of an airplane, or I'm just kind of like, wow, But I guess like the action shots were, pretty well shot, and like they were capturing it pretty well. So I mean, I think as far as action movies go, it's probably like a 6.2. Probably something like that. I think we're probably on that end. I don't know. What did you think?
6.2. Like you say, I'm more of a realist. I don't mind if they do some. I know it's a popcorn movie, right? I know it's to entertain. You gotta let your imagination roam. But I want it to look real good. I want it to look real. They had some cool aerials, shots of the countries and stuff. That was kind of cool. But overall, I wasn't wowed. So I gave this a 3.2. Like I can't remember. There's no memorable scene for me where I was like, "Oh, that's cool how they shot that." I didn't have any of those moments in that movie at all.
Yeah, that's a little tough. I agree with you there.
CGI. All right, so obviously there's a lot of CGI in this movie, and all movies are practically 80-75% CGI anymore, especially these type of movies. So how would you rate the CGI with this one?
I mean, I don't know. When Tom Holland's flying out of an airplane and doing backflips and holding on to cargo by like the skin of his teeth, I'm just like, no, I just don't think it works out. I'd probably be a little worse with that one. I think it's about 4.1.
4.1.
I think that's probably my score on that. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know.
I'm exactly the same score as you, 4.1. I felt the same way. I get it's a popcorn movie, but they just didn't look realistic. Like you talked about the wind opening the car door, her hair. So you could kind of tell that it was a green screen. Like watching the scene, you're like, green screen. Like to me, I don't want to know it's a green screen. I want to lose myself and like, oh, that looks good. Like, is that real? Was it green screen? How'd they shoot that?
Yeah, like they put a little fan, like our little oscillating fan from our room in front of the girl when she's on the car. Like it was just, her hair's like doing this, and she's heading straight for planet Earth, like at 100,000 miles an hour. So yeah, didn't believe that.
I agree with you. So overall, 1 to 10, 10 being the best score, 1 being the worst. What would you score this movie?
I think I'm going to go with a 4.4. That's probably, I think the only reason it's not 3 or below, it's because of Tom Holland and Antonio Banderas, and probably that beginning part of the movie. That was probably the only part I enjoyed. And after that, I'm just kind of, hanging on every little crazy melee scene and the ships getting annihilated and in the middle of the Philippines. So it's just That's probably as high as I could go on this movie.
All right. So for my score, overall, I give this a very disappointed 3.3. Very
That's
sad.
tough.
Very sad. As a video game fan, I expected more from this, but half-heartedly, I kind of had a feeling like I had expectations that it would fail because of, I don't know, I just had a feeling it would miss the spirit of this movie.
Yeah. I think Tom Holland's 25. He's young. He's got to know he doesn't have to accept every movie script. Just take something a little more serious next time, pal. We'll still hang with you. You know, you're good. You're good. Keep it moving.
I like it. Are you gonna watch this movie again?
No, probably not. Most definitely not.
All right. LINO gives it a 4.4. I give it a 3.3. That's our review for Uncharted. Thanks for watching.